Hey everybody, welcome to the first ExtraHop TME podcast. We are here in not quite so sunny Seattle to sit and chat about what we're doing. The TME team gets together pretty often, and every couple of weeks we're going to update you on what we've been up to. So we'll go around and introduce ourselves first, since this is our first time doing this thing, and let you know who we are and what we're doing, and then we'll kind of chat about some of the stuff that's been going on. So first up, Steve.
Hey guys, Steve Smith, the newest member of the TME group here at ExtraHop. Been here about going on 2.5, 3 months now. Been in the industry about 15 years, spent the last 8 at a telecom company doing system integration and lab testing for new devices and working with some of our vendors. So that's some of my background.
Nice.
Everybody, Ryan Quarter. I'm Ryan C. on the ExtraHop forum. Been here a little over a year. Prior to that, I was with a big local networking company. And before that, I've gone through healthcare and I've gone through Giant Evil Data Corporation land. And before that was...
Evil Data? Nice.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to know.
I don't. Well, I do know.
That's a different podcast.
That's
right.
And before that was .com web startup time, so that kind of ages me.
Nice.
Yeah, just excited to be here.
And I'm Chris Abella. I'm probably the ExtraHop veteran of the team, not the industry veteran. And I spend my time here doing some partner stuff, some cloud and some security, and just really hanging around the community. I'm Fox on the forums if you guys want to look at some of the stuff we've done.
And I'm Terry Shaver. I have also been here for quite some time. I interned here for about a year, and I think coming up on 1 year anniversary full-time this month. Recently, I've been working on healthcare stuff, which is ironic because I hardly go to the doctor, so that's my cup of tea. But
Now you know exactly what can go wrong with people.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm living proof of what can.
All of the codes that you might not want to have applied to you and that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah. Working to get ready for the hymns. That's coming up in about a month, so we're getting prepared for that, making good progress.
Sweet. And I'm Colin Walker. You'll probably hear more from me in all kinds of different formats where I make other technical people talk about things that makes them very uncomfortable, like this setting right here, because I tend to drive a lot of the community stuff from the TME group and try and get everyone out there interacting and talking in whatever means we can, whether it's on Twitter or the forums or all that kind of stuff. I am Optimus on the forums. If you see me out there, that's me. Because, yes, I am that much of a geek, and I suppose I'm dating myself, too, if I like Transformers, I don't know. Not the movies, the actual show.
Shia LaBeouf is great.
I never liked you. Get out of
Megan
here.
Fox.
Dead. But, yeah, we're all here working on different technical stuff. Part of what I'm doing is, like I said, the community outreach stuff. I'm trying to help build some of the new versions of the forums and some of the new things we're working on and stuff. Now that we have kind of my background, I've been in the industry for 15, 16 years. I come from a very similar large networking company in Seattle that Ryan does. My background's actually doing software stuff, though. I was a programmer for years before that. I didn't really get into the networking thing kind of on purpose. It was way more, I was doing software stuff, and this company had really cool software-looking things, and they convinced me that working in a networking company was cool. I really thought the network was like that people over there that once I threw my stuff over the wall, they would deal with it and get it out to my users. And I guess I realized over the course of the last 12 or so years working in this industry that there's a lot of more cool stuff you can do with it. So here I am for round 2 of networking company as a software guy, and we'll see how that works out for me. Now that the formal introductions are out of the way, we should cover another really, really important thing. I am currently drinking, it's a honey ginger cider. What's everybody, I have no idea where this is from. I'm sure Ryan can correct me. I don't know.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Which is an offshoot of Seattle Cider Company.
Right.
And local cider company. And the number 6 line uses just champagne yeast.
Just champagne yeast. It's not bad. A little sweet. It's all right. What's everybody else got?
Having the same cider. This is Steve.
I'm under the weather, unfortunately, which just makes me mad that I can't drink because I want to drink what Chris is drinking.
Which is?
The Bartell Drugs 125th Anniversary IPA. I guess it's from Fremont Brewing, which is a local brewery here. Little hoppy for me. I'm typically more of a stout guy, but
Preach on.
it does. It does.
And then coffee for
I do have coffee with Bailey. No, there's not.
I knew I liked
Been milking
you.
it all morning.
That's right. Been nursing it since 8 a.m.,
It's the
baby.
same cup since yesterday.
That's right. Me and my monorail espresso cup, just rocking it out. Sweet. So that's kind of who we are, and we'll be here, like I said, every couple of weeks, and we'll introduce ourselves probably less than less because you don't need 5 minutes of that. But we are working on all kinds of different things, but one of the things that's coming up that I'm super excited about, and I hauled these fine gentlemen and Terry to talk about today, is there's an upcoming user group next week, and it's the first one we've ever done as ExtraHop, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I wanted to kind of chat with these guys a little bit to get their feedback. Some of them have been here a lot longer than me, but we've all had kind of similar backgrounds in the industry and stuff, and I know this is a thing that I care about, but I wanted to kind of get everyone else's take. So this thing is we're inviting customers and potential customers and some people that are just not, extra hoppers to come talk about what they're doing and hear from us kind of tips and tricks. And I'll present and Ryan will present and we'll go talk about the geeky things we're doing, right? It's kind of by the geeks for the geeks. So who has any form of opinion on that sort of thing? Is anybody excited? Does anybody think I'm an idiot? Does this sound interesting? Have you been to this kind of stuff before?
I'm excited only because I forgot it was next week and I'm supposed to present.
That's exciting.
Yeah. No,
So you just admitted to the entire world. Both people that listen to this now will hear that you are unprepared.
That's usually the case.
So
As of today.
As of today,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll wing it. It'll be fine. It'll be honest.
But so what are you talking about, honestly?
Well,
next
before
Thursday?
I talk about that, I was just going to make a comment about how, going back previously, I was talking about dating myself. Used to really enjoy doing Linux user groups and things like that many years ago, and that completely died off with forums and everything online, where people could just, or especially when Google came around, essentially where you used to go to user groups because all the knowledge was contained in these local user groups.
Yeah, tribal knowledge.
Especially, let's take the Linux user group example. People would literally bring their computers, once a month to the library where we'd have our meeting,
Sure.
and we'd spend a couple hours getting Linux on their computers for them.
Mhm.
That was the point, and because it wasn't very easy to find really detailed instructions or step by step, and you took a lot of handholding because it's not like now where you pop a CD in and Ubuntu just goes and it's on your.
Wait, you're saying Linux and Unix weren't always easy to use?
Some would argue they're still not easy,
Blasphemy.
but yeah. So anyway, I'm glad to see that these are kind of coming back, even if it's in a slightly different format. It's more focused, I guess. But sorry. What I'm going to talk about at the user group is the solution we've been building around real user monitoring,
Mhm.
and what that is in a nutshell is, the ExtraHop platform does a great job of showing you everything on the wire in terms of the health of your network, the health of your servers, how long things are taking to process, the total volumes. I mean, there's an absolute wealth of data that transverses the. I can't talk today. That goes across the wire, and we do a great amount of stuff to pull out metrics for you to give you a really good insight into what's going on in your network.
Sure.
Missing piece of that is and especially in the case of going to web pages, is what happens once that web page is delivered to someone sitting on their computer. There's all this processing and all this other stuff, and how long it takes to render in the web browser. And there's a number of products out there that time those things. There's a standard around. It's called the W3C Navigation Timing API.
Mhm.
Won't go into that now, obviously, but and so there's a number of companies out there that provide products around this. But there's also a thing called Boomerang, which is an open source package that was originally developed by Yahoo,
Sure.
and now is done by LogNormal, I think, is who the main. But it's an open source package, and so because and it's something you embed in all your web pages that gives you that same kind of information about how long, what the health of your websites are from the customer's perspective.
Right, so you're figuring out more than just what the server thinks or what the actual network stats of transit time are.
It's that black box of the user way off on the other side of the country.
Right.
That, they're complaining that your website's taking 15
what the heck
seconds.
is actually happening?
We've done our part. We've delivered our data.
Yeah.
Now you need to make it work.
So,
Right.
But because Boomerang sends those metrics back across the wire to report home what those are, we can, again, just like anything else, we can pull those off the wire.
Yeah.
And we've worked up a great trigger and some really nice dashboards to show that kind of stuff, both from a developer perspective, but from a business perspective in terms of whether your top URIs and how long do they take, and which browsers are having more trouble versus.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah.
It's not just how fast is the site performing, it's what are the performance details about browser type, user, geography, all those sorts
It
of
also
things.
gives you things like, obviously Chrome is the most popular browser for this site.
Right.
And but you can see like iOS devices are having a really hard time rendering this page
Sure.
because of some piece of JavaScript that's hung or
Which is huge.
some other reason. It's
Yeah.
that kind of insight that you don't normally get and usually is unavailable.
No, it's really cool stuff. I've seen some of what you're going to talk about, obviously being internal and whatnot. But it's really cool stuff, and I'm excited to see the whole spiel to the users and see how they react to it. I think there's huge value. I think they'll probably agree. We'll see how that all goes.
Yeah.
So I liked your comment about the slugs and all. I assume it's in Seattle. You're doing Linux
No, this
users.
was in Arkansas.
Well, okay. So here in Seattle,
Years ago.
there's slugs, right?
Yeah.
Seattle Linux User Group. And I've been to a couple of those as well, and I love that concept of, it's interesting that those things did start to die off somewhat in the physical sense when groups online and forums and Google, all that stuff came out and became more relevant and prevalent. But to me, that was a kind of initiation point for when some of that stuff got really, really powerful because it was so accessible and it didn't have to just be local. You could get a larger group of, you now had things like, all the Ask websites and Slashdot and all that. There's huge chunks of information out there. So I don't know. I think it's good. I think it was good that the internetification, coining terms, of groups happened. I don't know. Anybody think that? Is there a counter argument to that?
No, I can't disagree with that. I mean, the biggest.
Darn right. Oh, I mean,
the biggest drawback was the social gathering aspect of it.
Sure.
I mean, it's one thing to be social on a forum or something like
that,
but to actually have everyone get together and and just talk is like here, like talking about things other than the thing you're getting together to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'd also argue too, being in the physical presence with a group of people can definitely aid in just bouncing ideas off of each other. I mean, that's why our group exists and why we sit in a big conference room together.
Right.
Is you don't have the latency of the internet, right? You have, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah, that's a good idea. Have you tried this? Well, we can do that too.
The ability to pivot and innovate.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
Pivot and innovate in real time. That's true. It's an extraordinarily polished way of saying
been
that.
into marketing.
Marketing.
Thank you.
All right, nicely done.
Yeah, and I will say, this is something that we've been talking about here at ExtraHop for 2+ years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just really powerful things that we can do with our product, and something that the more exposure we get to that, and the more comfortable we get to people, and the more we just expose just how powerful those things are, that's exciting times.
I think so.
It's
Well, and part of it, and I totally agree with your comment. First of all, my past life has been a lot about doing online community stuff, right? So I am a huge, fervent proponent of that. But I also do agree with what you're saying, where there's something to be said about being in the same physical space as the people that you're working with. One of the things that I'm presenting on actually at this user group is going to be kind of the whole cliche 0 to 60, right? Like getting started with ExtraHop. What are your first steps? What do you do? And I'm going to take the stance of let me show you how to create some dashboards. I'm going to sit with my laptop, plug into the projector, and be like, okay, I have a blank screen. Now let's create some things. It'll look like a dashboard. We're done. How do you do that? And I think that message is really hard to convey when you're not in the same room. Because I could create a video, right, and then put it online. It would be okay. But it wouldn't be the same as hey, you in the audience, what problem are you trying to solve? What data would you like to see in real time, and then slam it on a screen kind of thing, right?
Well, and it adds an element of not randomness or chaos, but it's if you have someone giving you feedback and saying, I want to see this, well, and it is proving that it wasn't a planned, this one thing happens to be easy, right?
No, fair enough.
You're able to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, let's pivot on that.
Plus, there's beer and stuff, which is never bad, right?
Video games, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. Apparently, it's an arcade. I've not been to the location, but it's this super sweet place. It's got beer and a little arcade, and it's supposed to be awesome for the private room.
And great burgers.
And great burgers. Really good burgers. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Actually, if you guys haven't tried it, they have a salad that is a Cobb salad, but they use French fries instead of croutons.
That sounds really weird and awesome.
It's pretty fantastic.
Pretty
And jalapeno ranch dressing.
See, now you're talking my language. I dig it.
At that point, it's not really a salad.
Not really a salad.
It's some sort of like a casserole, right? Like
Yeah.
if there's potatoes and ranch, I think it's farther away from salad than we think.
Well,
Of course,
there's lettuce.
the idea of salad has been stretched for years.
For years, it's a Jello salad.
I mean,
It's
you
Snickers
already
salad.
said potato salad.
yeah, right.
It's potatoes and mayonnaise
For sure.
and some mustard.
Well, so I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. I appreciate everybody getting around to chat about it with me for a few minutes. You seem like you might want to kill me at some point, but we're going to keep doing this and see how it goes. Before we take off, anybody doing anything exciting right now? Not necessarily related to the user group stuff, but is there a thing you're working on right now or the last couple of weeks that's worth mentioning, interesting, want to talk about? I know you've been doing some Elastic stuff. I know you've been doing some healthcare stuff. I know, is there something you want to chat about?
Yeah, so Elasticon, Elasticsearch's first conference got done earlier this week. We actually were there, had a booth, had a demo showing off some integration there, and I'm actually just polishing up a doc on how to integrate those things.
Nice.
It's a lot of excited people about that, especially in open source communities, about seeing just what they can do with it. So there's a lot of exciting things coming out of that.
Sweet. Anybody else? I know. My recent thing was we updated the EE demo online here at ExtraHop. That's been like 3 weeks ago now, which seems like an eon ago. But
that seems like a long time ago.
I know, right? I keep talking about it, but it's still relatively new. That was my biggest relatively new thing. Anybody else got stuff going on, or?
It's all top secret, man.
I'm hoping to dive into some of the DE stuff, the discovery, and how to improve the user experience, and see what other people are doing, and see how we can get users using our product and understand the power of it. So.
Sweet. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for jumping on, and we'll get this out and posted, and hopefully catch everyone in a couple of weeks. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Cheers.